Greetings, my friends. I want to tell you all about my new channel, Pop Culture KO, a channel where I'm going to experiment and try out some new things that I can't do on my main channel here because the algorithm discourages innovation and trying out new formats. Pop Culture KO will be more eclectic, with movie and TV reviews, game reviews, reviews of classic movies, YouTube shorts about rumors, and videos starring Harvey Cthulhu, the Skull of Calderon, and Omnivac himself. Go to youtube.com/@popcultureko or youtube.com/theharveyzone and subscribe today. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, please do. We need your help. Thanks for watching, and now on with the video. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, broadcasting from my hidden base at the center of the Earth, and I come to you today to discuss Kathleen Kennedy's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad week. Any week when you have a movie making a world premiere at the Cannes Film Festival should be a good one, I'm sure you'll agree. And yet, as it turned out, this was one of the worst professional weeks that Kennedy has had in a very, very long time. And according to a new rumor, Kennedy was on a rampage in the Lucasfilm offices following news of the Galactic Starcruiser hotel closing. This misfortune would have been painful enough on its own, but coupled with the horrible reviews of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny coming out of Cannes, and the removal of Kennedy's failed Disney Plus series Willow from Disney Plus, it was a 1-2-3 strike barrage of punches firmly landing in the breadbasket of the embattled Lucasfilm president, and it reportedly had her reeling this week. In this video, we'll discuss the latest bad reviews emerging from the Indy 5 screening. We'll discuss the announcement that the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel will be closing in September after only 18 months of operation, a hotel that represented Kennedy and her sequel trilogy. And then I'll share with you a rumor sent to me by my friend and ally Kamran Pasha regarding Kennedy's reaction to all this negative news. But to fully appreciate how severely bad this news was for Kennedy, I want to give you first a little background on what this means to her and to Disney.
I imagine that any failures at the box office these days are failures Disney can ill afford, given how badly their stock has dipped over the past few weeks, losing something around $11 a share since May 8th. More bad news won't help that situation at all.
No, it'll make it that much worse. Disney's stock is doing the limbo right now, as Goofy chants how low can it go, and it turns out that the answer is low enough to tell if an aunt is circumcised. Those are the stakes for Disney, stopping the downward slide of the stock, which I'm told was recently downgraded. But what are the stakes for Kennedy, Doomcock? Remind us.
A while back, I posted a rumor provided to me by my Hollywood spies regarding an alleged meeting that took place between Kennedy and Bob Iger. Kennedy was allegedly summoned to Iger's office, and many things were discussed with, shall we say, elevated candor. This is what I was told, quote, "So we've been told Bob Iger and KK had a face-to-face. Allegedly, she was running her mouth on what he had to say to her. Before we get into details, we haven't had any time to verify anything, so this is unverified. Iger told Kennedy, Indy 5 has got to make money. It can't break even or do okay. It must do over $900 million. Word has it, with all the mistakes, the lawsuit, Mando, and other headaches, KK is on very thin ice. We have multiple verifications that Indy 5 is in the cutting room, and Lucasfilm is racing to get it done on time. Allegedly, KK wants to push the movie back again, and Bob Iger would not let her have the delay." Unquote. Well, folks, judging by the horrible reviews coming out of the Cannes Film Festival premiere, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is not going to make $900 million at the box office. In fact, given the rumored enormity of the budget with all the reshoots and scrapbooking that occurred, it may not even make its money back. It may lose money just like Solo. I made a video several days ago going over some of these reviews, and since then, more reviews have been posted that are equally as bad, reinforcing the notion that this is not an anomaly, it's a trend. A trend that points to potential trouble down the road for Kennedy, especially when coupled with the failure of the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, which reportedly infuriated Kathleen Kennedy and caused a lot of tumult in the Lucasfilm offices. We'll get to that in a moment, but let's finish examining the first part of Kathleen Kennedy's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad week by quoting just a few of the latest reviews that have come out regarding Indy 5. Time magazine states, quote, "There are so many chase sequences in Dial of Destiny that the movie seems held together with slender bits of plot rather than the other way around. Worse yet, they're so heavily CGI'd that they come off as grimly dutiful rather than thrilling or delightful," unquote. Rolling Stone says Indy 5 is, quote, "what you imagine you'd get if you programmed a 21st century AI program to write up nostalgia bait for the children of the late 20th century. It's not all bad. There are scattered moments of wit and old school Hollywood blockbuster pleasure here and there. However, you may find yourself wondering why all this business feels so frenetic without feeling like it's that fun. There are needs being met here, but they aren't storytelling based so much as stoking the fan base and meeting the bottom line ones. Ford still has the fortitude to play the part, but just having him show up to crack whips and crack wise in the name of bringing back that old Indy thrills, spills, chills magic isn't enough of an excuse to have him don the fedora one last time," unquote. And while most reviews seem to agree that the best part of the movie is the 25-minute long opening flashback showing young Indy on an adventure in the past, IGN's Siddhat Adlakha says, quote, "Everything feels ever so slightly wrong in its 25-minute opening sequence, with cuts and shot selections ordered correctly enough to convey a sequence of events, but never fine-tuned enough to make its images land with any impact. Add to this the sheer murkiness of what's on screen. Much of the CG-heavy action is obscured by nightfall or natural elements like fog, and what you're left with is a spectacle you can barely see and an adventure movie that feels distinctly unadventurous in its creation. Dial of Destiny lumbers from scene to scene with action that never quite manages to be exciting. There was a glimmer of mischief to the fights and stunts in Spielberg's Indiana Jones movies, which quickly established their stakes in physical geography before hitting swashbuckling highs. The action in Dial of Destiny is dull by comparison, whizzing by too quickly to land, and with physics too cartoony to leave a lasting impact. At one point, Indy runs atop a row of train cars, and the exaggerated movements of his stunt digital double are indistinguishable from those of Woody from Toy Story. Fitting, perhaps, since he's more children's action figure than flesh and blood human being in this movie, unquote. I ask you, Harvey Cthulhu, does this seem like a movie that will make $900 million to you?
Nope. It sure sounds like a movie that could lose a few $100 million, though. If I were Kennedy these days, I'd be waking up in a puddle of flop sweat every morning. Not only because Indy 5 is looking like a bomb, but because of the disastrous crash and burn of her Galactic Starcruiser Hotel.
And now, we come to the rumored reaction of Miss Kennedy to the news that her Galactic Starcruiser Hotel was dead and is slated to have its last voyage this coming September after being operational less than 2 years. According to Kamran Pasha's source Sparrow, as reported on patreon.com/Kamran Pasha, Kennedy lost her shit when she heard the news, meaning she heard the news and was never told the news. According to Sparrow, quote, Kathleen Kennedy is throwing a fit. She got told about Starcruiser at the same time everyone else did with no forewarning. Same with Willow going away. She's been cut out of the loop and she knows it. Apparently her monkeys in the office had to talk her down from writing an angry email to Iger, and Iger is apparently displeased with Indy 5 internally and knows it's going to fail, unquote.
Well. An angry email to Iger in the heat of the moment. That would have served her well, especially since Iger must be grumpy these days, given Disney's loss of 4 million subscribers and plunging stock value. Oh, it's too bad her monkeys talked her down, Donkak.
Yes, too bad. But the damage is done, Harvey, because let's face it, informing Kennedy that the hotel built around her sequel trilogy was closing before sending out the press release is simply a common courtesy that Iger felt no need to pay Kennedy. That, in the language of Hollywood, is more than an oversight, it's a blatant insult, and possibly the first proof of the rumored tension between Iger and Kennedy that had Kennedy storming around the offices after that purported meeting with Iger. Yes, my friends, last week was an awful week for Kathleen Kennedy, but it may be only the first taste of more disasters to come. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.